Hi everyone, I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. I am a soul therapist and an intuitive that connects with the angelic energy. I help the helpers, the healers, and the light bringers of this world to live their most magical life. So if that's you, and that's really most of you, make sure if you're watching on my YouTube channel that you hit that subscribe button below with the bell so you can get notifications for all the videos that I'm sharing here on this channel. This is the weekly reading. So in the weekly reading, we talk all about what's going on in the energy right now and what you need to know to make the best, to make the most of the energy that we have going on and what an energy we have going on, right? I really truly feel like, hang in there guys, because I know a lot of people are struggling. I really feel like this is the heaviest energy of the entire year that we're in, that we have been in since we started off in the new year. So keep that in mind. It's going to get lighter. And so it doesn't have to feel so heavy. And I really feel like 2023 overall is going to be a great year for the collective, but we're doing our work right now. And I noticed a major theme coming up in my sessions today, in a lot of my recent conversations, and just for myself, and also coming up in my meditation when I connected with this energy of this need for us to continue to work on moving in the direction of being our most authentic selves, right? It's so important, and this is collectively where we are moving in honoring who we are, who we uniquely are. And so I think I called this video something like "It's time to get weird" or something like that, because I really think that this is the time where we need to lean into our weirdness. And that's not comfortable, right? Especially for those of us that care about people, which most of us do, right? We care about what people think. And sometimes when we're honoring our most authentic selves, that can challenge that a bit, right? Because sometimes people don't like it, people don't respond well to it, or people think that you're weird, or whatever it is, whatever that is for you. But there's a very strong message this week of leaning into that anyway. And that feels scary, right? I truly feel like that's the leap of faith this week. If we're going to take any leap of faith, the leap of faith is honoring our authentic selves in spite of what other people think, in spite of what other people have to say, understanding that they might have comments about that. They might have opinions about that, but it really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, if you're honoring your soul, if you're honoring who you are and the path that you feel called to take, you don't need to explain yourself to anyone. And so I understand that this is a scary thing, but I also think that this is where we need to move. We really need to be honoring these parts of ourselves that have been screaming to break out of us, right? Had I never honored my weird, had I never listened to the things that I felt called to do, I wouldn't be doing the things that I'm doing right now. I would be still this shy person who followed all the rules and, was stuck in a job that I hated, and I would have just stayed there, stayed stuck, stayed sleepwalking my way through life. But I honored that weird. I honored the things that make me different. And now I really see them as the things that make me stand out. And I'm not for everybody, and that's okay, and I understand that, but it's important for us to understand that none of us are for anybody, and the people who are meant to be in our experience are going to see those things within us. And some of them, by the way, might take a while to see that. Some of them might take a while to embrace it, because when we're honoring our most authentic selves, and that's different from where we've been or the persona that we've been putting out there for a while, it takes people a little time to adjust, right? Because it's like, wait a minute. People don't like change. And so at first, you'll get a little bit of that energy of, wait a minute, go back to who you were or how you used to be, because that was what was familiar or that was what was comfortable. But right now, this energy is all about breaking out of the familiar, breaking out of what's comfortable, and honoring ourselves. Honoring not our ego selves, but our soul selves, what our souls are calling us to do, what our souls are guiding us to do, be, and the parts of ourselves that are wanting to shine through that are just absolutely authentically us. I also feel like when I'm talking about honoring our weird, we've got to like have a little bit, we've got to have more fun, right? We've got to stop taking ourselves so seriously. This energy has people really tense, has people really stressed, has people struggling. We are in still Mars retrograde and Mercury retrograde. If you don't know what I'm talking about with that, watch last week's video and the weekly video before that, okay? Because I explained that a little bit more in detail. But that is a challenging energy. It's slowing us down. It's creating conflict. It's triggering us all over the place. It's forcing us or inviting us. I want to say inviting, not forcing, right? Because that feels more aligned with the energy, and that also feels more like a choice, because we do have a choice. We can ignore these things that are coming up for us and not do the work, but it is inviting us to do our work, to work on the things that are coming up right now. The stuff that is coming up for you right now is coming up for a reason, to give you an opportunity to work through it, to understand it, to work through confusion around it, to make decisions around it. And probably right now, you're not going to have the answers. You're not going to know what to decide, but just notice what's coming up for you right now, because I do think that the solutions or what you need to do about this are going to be coming, but we have to allow this stuff to come into our awareness to begin with. And the best way that I have found that God, the universe, gets our attention is through our discomfort. So notice where you're triggered, notice where you are feeling uncomfortable, but also lighten up. We've got to lighten up a little bit. We've got to also balance this heavy energy with a little bit more fun and not taking ourselves too seriously. And I really like to approach a lot of situations in my life from the perspective of it being a game. To me, that takes some of the emotion out of it, because really, this is all just a simulation. None of this is really real. And I understand it feels really real, right? But this is all a school. It's a place for us to learn. It's a place for us to grow. So I will try to take a step back and ask myself, okay, I have this pattern or this circumstance or this situation that just keeps showing up for me. How do I want to approach this differently so that I can level up in the game, right? So I disconnect that a little bit. It helps me to take it less seriously and to get less emotionally invested in that. Not that we shouldn't get emotionally invested in things, but we want to get emotionally invested in the things that really matter, right? And sometimes using that strategy can help us to move through it and to learn the damn lesson so that we can move on with ourselves. There's a lot of opportunities right now to learn the damn lesson. So learn it, right? But also have fun while you're doing it if you can. Shake it up. Spend time with people who make you laugh, who light you up, poke fun at yourself at things, not in a degrading way, but just having fun and not taking yourself or life too seriously. I also do want to highlight, Mars has been in retrograde for a while. I don't even know how long at this point. It just has felt like a long time. But it has been slowing us down. It has been creating anger and aggression and challenges and making us feel more tired and feeling stuck in the mud and just not feeling very motivated. And it is going direct. It is moving out of retrograde on the 12th. So that's one planet check that we're going to have moving out of retrograde. And then we have Mercury that we still have left over until next week. But on the other side, in next week's video, I'm going to be talking about how Mercury is going direct and how we are moving out of that energy. So hang in there. We're moving through this energy, and use it while you have it to help clarify things, help to show you some things. I think that we're going to be finding that next week, and especially after next week, that things are going to start to become that much more clear. And we're going to start to have more awareness of what we need to do about the situations that are coming up right now. Take it as an opportunity to heal things. If you're feeling like something is unhealed, if you're being shown where things are unhealed, use it as an opportunity. I always like to just check in with myself, because this is a great time to go within. This is a great time to listen to yourself and ask, okay, this is coming up again for me. What do I need to do, or what do I need in order to allow myself to heal this? And sometimes what we need is actually from other people, but we don't have control over other people. So we can ask, we can pray for that. I need this apology, or I need this person to do this thing. And we can put that out to the universe. But at the same time, we don't want to keep handing our power away too much, and we don't want to keep ourselves stuck waiting on someone else to do something. So what do I need to do in order to heal this is a higher vibrational question, and a question that brings you back into your power. Because I was talking a lot last week about being really mindful that we're not slipping into a victim mentality, or that we're not spending so much time complaining or focusing on what's not going well. Yeah, a lot isn't going well right now. Absolutely, right? But if we focus on it, if we talk about it too often, if we're venting all day, complaining all day, then we're not learning the things that we need to be learning. We're not focusing on the entire point of this. It is meant to show us what we need to heal, what we need to work on. So pay attention to that rather than just talking about it and continuing to feed the energy that is only going to create more of the same issue in your life. So pay attention to that and be really mindful of that. I also think that this energy is creating this issue of a lot of difficulty focusing, okay? I've had a terrible time focusing, and I don't even know how many times I've caught myself just staring at the wall. I don't know what I'm doing. I couldn't tell you how I've spent the day. So while I don't love this, because I tend to be pretty goal oriented and I tend to like to make sure that I'm checking the things off my list, I also understand that this energy is what it is, and this is meant to be a time of reflecting. So if your reflecting is pulling you away from the things that you need to do, know that you're going to have more time and energy to be able to do some of those things on the other side of this Mercury retrograde. In fact, I think as this Mars retrograde goes direct on the 12th, that you're going to feel a little bit more energized and a little bit more focused and a little bit more able to move forward with the goals that you have for yourself. But in the meantime, be patient with yourself. And even if it doesn't lift, then be patient with yourself and do the work that your soul is showing you that you need to do, not necessarily the work that you are telling yourself that you should be doing. Absolutely, we have to get things done. I get that. But we've got to work with the energy that we have going on. And I think that focus, quite frankly, is going to be difficult. I think feeling energized is going to be quite difficult. Although I'm noticing already with the shift with Mars coming in, I do think that it's going to feel a little bit lighter this week in that way than it did last week. So all of this stuff, we have a lot going on. Let's take a look at the cards. So I pulled 2 pages right next to each other. So the first thing that I want to acknowledge is just the fact that we have been working on moving into this new chapter in our lives, and we're here and we're in it, but it's like we moved into a new chapter and then the energy slowed down. And this is just, I feel like that double check from the universe saying, are you sure? Are you sure that you want to move forward in this direction? Are you sure that you have cleared out everything that you want to clear out? Are you sure that the changes that you've made are what you actually want? And I think a lot of cases, the answer is yes. But it's an opportunity to double check that and to make sure that we're moving into this new chapter in the energy, with the circumstances, with the mindset that we want to move into this new energy with. And I think that there's a lot of opportunities to help us to get clear on that. Again, you're not going to feel clear right now, but it will move us in the direction of feeling clear. So new energy, but also I think, this is a tough energy. And when I pulled these, I felt this energy of, how do I feel called to give? And the pages, this isn't like giving a ton of yourself. This isn't, donating thousands upon thousands of dollars to other people. This isn't, just like giving until you have nothing left. Because I think right now we really need to make sure that we're balancing ourselves and that we are taking a lot of time in our own energy. We don't want to be giving a lot of our time, our energy, our, we want to make sure that we're balancing ourselves. So, but where do I feel called to give right now? Or how can I be just a little bit kinder? How can I give just a little bit more to help support people in this time? Or, how do I feel called to give to myself, right? What do I need that is going to help me to be the best version of myself that's going to help everyone else in my life that matters to me, that's going to help my family, my kids, the people in my world? How do I feel called to give to myself or to other people? But I also feel like these are, I mean, the Page of Pentacles is planting a seed, right? We might be getting clear on a seed that we need to plant, a new beginning that we need to start, a step that we need to take. And I think that that's going to start to become clear this week. I don't necessarily know that we are taking action on this or should be taking action on this week. Maybe going back to school or learning something new, but there's something new that we're thinking about. And the other piece of that is like giving of ourselves in an emotional way, right? Where do I feel called to start a new connection with someone? Or where do I feel called to offer an apology to someone, or to let somebody know how something that they did made me feel, good, bad, whatever? Where do I feel called to express myself, to show my heart, to be vulnerable? So all of these things, and I think that this is a really important energy that we're in right now. So pay attention to where that is coming up for you. 3 of Cups in reverse. Where am I not having fun? Where am I not celebrating life? Where am I getting too caught up in the heaviness of all of this and not enjoying myself? Temperance. Where do I need to bring balance into my life? Where do I need to have faith in the timing of things? Where am I getting obsessive about trying to force things? This is not an energy that you want to force anything. In fact, never try to force anything, but this is definitely not the energy to do it in. This is the energy about co-creation. This is the energy about putting your intentions out to the universe, but also understanding that God, the universe, sees the bigger picture and knows best for us, and leaning into whatever that is, whether it aligns with the intentions or whether it doesn't, right? But allowing that and listening to, where do I need balance in my life, in myself, in my work, in my relationships, whatever this is, and how do I honor that? How do I start to create some changes with that? 9 of Swords in reverse. This is, look at, it's reversed. The swords are upright. This is clarity. This is clarity through pain, clarity through even obsessing, clarity through sleepless nights, through challenges, through struggle, through worry, right? Not that we want to be doing that, but notice where these thoughts are bringing you. There is a clarity that is coming in through this, maybe not right away, but it's coming, and it is showing us exactly the way that we need to go. And if you're not sure the way to go, look up, ask for help, ask God, ask the universe to show you the way, and allow that clarity to develop, to float to the surface, right? This is kind of like magic 8-ball energy. Have you ever noticed, like, when you ask a magic 8-ball a question, it takes a little time for that to like float to the surface, and in the meantime the answer isn't clear. We're in magic 8-ball energy, but let it float to the surface. And if you don't feel like it's floating to the surface, ask God to help it to float to the surface so you know what to do. 3 of Swords. This is a time of healing, but it's healing through challenge. It's healing through acknowledging where we've been hurt. I do think that there is a reflecting back energy right now. Very much there's a nostalgic energy, but can we learn from the past? Can we learn to do better from the past, or how we might create change moving forward rather than going backwards in our life, or spending too much time focusing on the past or focusing on how we could have done it differently? Can we instead just learn from it and apply it to future circumstances? And if you're feeling called to go backward in any way, reconnecting with an old relationship, or going back to an old job that you knew didn't serve you before, or just going back into old patterns, habits, old ways of being, recognize where you are doing that, because this energy is really fostering that right now. And instead figure out, what do I need in order to heal it? What do I need in order to move forward with my life so that I'm not constantly tied to the past? Because there's nothing that you can do about the past, but you have every opportunity here in the present moment to create a really beautiful future for yourself. And speaking of beautiful futures, this is where we're going, right? We've got our focus on the 10 of Pentacles, having everything that we want, having that security that we want, having that happy life, happy family, feeling supported, creating the kind of business that we want to create, creating the kind of work that we want to create, co-creating something really incredible. But we've got to do this work to get us there. And so allow it all. It's all beautiful. The good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. So allowing the entire process to unfold to bring us into this 10 of Pentacles energy. So those are your messages, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all so much. If any of these messages resonate with you, please hit that like button. If you feel called, please share this video. Please tag someone. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Whatever you feel called to do, I appreciate the energetic investment in the work that I'm doing. So thank you so much, and I will see you soon with another video. Take care, guys.